to another Instagram Live and Artist Stories. I'm Tara Wahab, founder of Loudartsociety. Loudartsociety is a non-profit organization that enhances health through art and creativity. We've been operating in the city of Calgary since 2015. And throughout this time, we have provided several different public art projects, events, and programs, for which we have received very positive feedback so far. Today, we have another amazing artist that we'll be introducing to you. But while he's going to join us and while we are waiting for our other viewers to join us, we're going to play one of his songs. Actually, it's from their band, the Endgame Band, so let's listen to this music.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, Kara.
Hi, how are you doing?
Thank you, I'm fine. It was a nice song. I think I know it.
Yes, I think you do. So it's Jochen, right? Do I pronounce your name properly?
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. So, Jochen, I'm not going to waste any more time and I'm just going to jump right into our questions and start asking you please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what kind of art is it that you do and how long have you been doing it for?
Okay, so first of all, let me thank you about the invitation for this interview. And perhaps you know it, I'm German and English is not my native language, so I'm here in Andy's studio. Perhaps sometimes I have to ask him for an English word.
Sure.
All right. So, my introduction, my name is Jochen Steinert, and I was born in Germany, in South Germany, in Sindelfingen, 40 years ago, approximately. Well, and I live here since I was born in South Germany. And, well, because we have an interview about the band, I tell you something about my bass guitar. I was playing the bass guitar since I was 18 years old. So I started to practice, but in this year, I had the bass lying in the corner for around 15 years. So I don't play the bass guitar in the last 20 years. So I restarted again approximately 5 years ago. Yeah. And I came to the bass guitar when I was in school, and my friends in school, they built up a band and they needed a bass player, and they asked me if I was keen on playing the bass, but I never had the bass guitar in my hand up to then. But they begged me and tried to convince me to play the bass guitar. So okay, I said okay. I bought a used bass guitar, and it's a Washburn bass. It's an American company, and it had amazing quality of bass guitar. So God bless America. And I still play this bass guitar up until now. So it's okay. But unfortunately, it was a band in my school, and we never released any songs. And after school, the band didn't exist anymore. So my first real band was approximately 4 years ago. It was called the Jacks, and also was Andy within the band. The Jacks, it's the names of our, or the letters of our names was Jochen, Andy. You know Andy Yaramadi, he's the composer, even in the Endgame band. And it was Katja, it was a singer, it was a colleague of mine. And it was Soran, it was a guitar player. Unfortunately, we just released 2 songs with the Jacks because Soran started to build a house, and he hadn't any time for this band, so the band split. And well, after that, Andy get to know this Persian guys, for example, Sharam and the other ones, and he asked, hey, Jochen, are you interested in a new band, the Endgame band then? And he asked me if I am interested to play the bass guitar, and I said, yes, why not? No problem. And so I was a founding member of the Endgame band.
Wow, that's amazing, Jochen. So I guess the Endgame band was the third band that you are kind of being part of it.
Yes, that's true.
And so the school band that you started with, was it in high school or like college, university?
Well, it wasn't an university band. In Germany, there is no college or something like that. It's you go to school for 12 years, and I think it's comparable to college. Okay. I think. I was 18 years old or something like that. Perhaps.
Okay. That's interesting. So prior to that, like before the school band, did you have any interest in music at all, or just because your friends were, encouraging you that, hey, like, just go and start the bass guitar, or what happened?
What happened? good questions. My father always wanted to convince me that the normal guitar is a good instrument, which is easy to learn. I didn't think it was easy, and I tried to practice with the normal guitar in my childhood, but I didn't come very. I wasn't very successful with this.
Okay.
So I put the normal guitar in the end and in the corner and never played it again. So I really restarted to be interested in music and play music when my friends begged me to join the high school band. Yes.
That's interesting. So now that you are playing in the Endgame band, what is your perspective so far? Do you like to listen? Because I know the lyrics are mostly in Persian. What are your thoughts on that? Can you connect with it at some level?
This is a very good question. I don't speak any Persian, so at the beginning it was hard for me to understand what's going on. And even the kind of music was different to Western music. But normally I'm open-minded, and I thought by myself, let's try some band rehearsals and try to practice some songs. And even if the songs were not my favorite songs at the beginning, they started to convince me, and they started to, I kind of like them more and more. So now I have some real favorite songs I practice nearly every day. And the language, it doesn't matter, to be honest. Yeah, music is the key of all our band members. You know, our band members are from Persia, Iran, from Romania, from Germany, Colombia. So the key to get together is music, not the language. So in the rehearsals, sometimes the guys are talking Persian to each other, and sometimes Sharam also talks Persian to me, and then I say, oh, sorry, please repeat it, I didn't understand anything. Yeah, but it doesn't matter, it's okay, and the music is fine to me, even if there are some parts that are very Eastern music, but we combine the Eastern part of the music and the Western part of the music in our songs. So both of the cultures can listen to the music because the elements are from both sides.
That's true. That's right. I truly admire your open-mindedness. You know, there was this music by DJ Alligator. I think he was singing, "Music is my language." So I don't think we really need to know other languages if there's music with it. So you can tell Sharam to just play you the chord where he's playing. You know, he's speaking in Persian, so you can understand that part.
Yeah, it's no problem. I'm very disciplined, so I have to write down the chords on each song, every chord, and this is very important to me. But when I have written down the chords, I can play along, and it doesn't matter if he sings in English. We also have English songs, or in Persian, or even in German. I don't care.
Awesome. So, Jochen, you know, the focus of our organization and this program is actually the health benefits that any practice of any form of art and creativity can have for us. Since you've been practicing your, bass guitar and being part of these different musical bands, do you believe that it had any effect on your health at all?
Yes, sure. I have other hobbies besides playing bass. I just want to mention it. Among other things, I paint. I learned foreign languages, English, for example. I do my very best now. And I also like to play football, for example. And all in all, I believe that it's good for your health when you challenge your brain, yeah, and your body too. I think my synapses are well networked, and this allows me to grasp relations ships relatively quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this has to do with my training of the brain and in different ways. So my intention is to say that in general, every new thing you learn is healthy for your brain. And yes, I think also we do a lot of practice. I do a lot of practice with my bass guitar, and this has to be, or I have to be focused on that. So I'm not addicted to anything. For example, I do not smoke. I do not drink, seldom drink alcohol, but really seldom. And I think if you're not addicted, then your thoughts are free, and you can be focused on the things you want to do. If you're addicted to, for example, smoking, then you always have a thing in your mind. Okay, let's try the song again, and then I have to go out and smoke a little bit. So I want to say I'm not addicted to anything, so I'm focused on the things I like to do.
That's great, and I very much agree with that. And you know, one thing that we do here at Loudartsociety is that we promote art as this practice for positive psychology, and the way that we can transform our habits from negative habits to positive habits. I don't call them addictions because it has a very negative connotation. I call them negative habits.
Okay,
and so,
sorry.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I just have my own, you know, language in a sense. So it's great that, you know, like people who are practicing art on a regular basis, they are actually developing that positive habit of focusing and learning and all the great things that you just mentioned. That's really good to hear. Thank you so very much for sharing that. So,
Sure.
So my next question is, you know, I guess you've been always part of musical bands so far, you know, in terms of your musical activities. But you mentioned that you also paint and you do other creative things too. What is the main theme of your artworks? And do you believe that does it even have a theme? And how many pieces have you been making so far? Do you count them at all or not?
I don't think it's countable. To stay at the music topic, I'm not a composer, and I haven't actually composed any song of my own. Of course, I cover well-known songs from Iron Maiden, for example, or every song I like to hear, I do the cover. It's no problem. And I play the bass lines that Andy or Sharon, the songs of Andy and Sharon, which they composed. But I wouldn't say I have my own artworks at all. Yeah. In some songs, I had to write my own bass lines, and I wrote them, for example, in the Endgame signature song. So this is the song which we use as an opener or as a closer in our concerts. And in this song, every guy of the band has some chord space to play his own created, in my example, bass line, or the drummer his line, or something like that. So I'm able to compose my small bass lines, but well, not very much more. So I'm not a professional musician, you know. I always used to say the bass is my hobby.
That's a great hobby. So my next question to you is that again, I guess while you're being part of the band, you're already collaborating with other artists. But the question is that would you like to collaborate with other artists? Let's say if it was like somebody who's a painter, you know, or if they're doing other kinds of art.
Yeah, well, actually, it's enough for me that I can work with the guys in the band. They are really great, and I love them really much. Of course, bassists like Steve Harris from Iron Maiden, I mentioned already, they're a role model. Yeah, but in my case, he's very fast on his bass playing. yeah, and I think I can I can't keep up with his speed. But I said I'm a hobby musician, but everything is a matter of practice. Even though if I'm not this fast like he is today, yeah, I think perhaps in a year I'm going to a little bit faster, or in 5 years if I get up my level of practice. Well, let's see. Perhaps I'm as fast as he. Yeah, but well, at this time it's enough for me to play with the guys of the band.
Awesome. So how much per week do you practice? How many hours would you say?
Yes, normally I practice an hour a day.
Okay, that's all.
Approximately. Yeah. Sometimes you have some conferences or schedules that won't allow you to practice. Yeah, or something. Sometimes you are just too tired to practice. But then you go to the band rehearsal and then you practice for 3-4 hours. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. So you said that music is your hobby at the moment. What do you do for your other job?
I work at DECRA. It's perhaps you know it. It's a testing and certification company, and I work as an employee and a salesperson. So I'm selling every kind of certificates you can imagine.
That sounds fun. All right. So, well, my next question might be a little bit heavy, but I'm sure you probably have some good answers for it. What is your perspective on art and creativity in general?
Well, personally, I don't consider myself particularly as a creative person. Yeah. However, my wife claims the opposite. She says I'm very creative. Well, at this time, it's enough for me. I can manage nice transition, for example, between the chords. But that's all what I have to say, what I can answer you just up to now. I'm sorry.
No worries. That was a great answer. Thank you so much. My next question to you is that what are you working on right now? I guess whatever that the band is working on.
Well, at this time I have my hobbies, and in general I live a happy life. Yeah, great. Working, playing the bass guitar in the evening, going on holiday trips with my wife. Unfortunately, not this year due to Corona. You can imagine. You know, have meetings with the band or with friends. Yeah, and I also bought a small piece of land a few months ago, and last week, and we harvested apple pies and nuts. So I have lots of things to do, and it never gets boring. My life, yeah, it's great. Yeah, I'm very satisfied.
It's really inspiring. You know, now that you mentioned about the fruits and apples and all of that, I say always, you know, when I'm giving talks that like even gardening is also a creative activity.
Yes.
It does take practice. It does take patience. You have to keep being regular with, you know, taking care of that plant or whatever that you're growing. So here we go. You are a very creative person.
Thank you so much. In my garden, I try to build a wall, and it's very heavy to put away all of the gravel and dirt, and it takes a lot of time because I do it just with my hands, not with the motorized. Yes, and yeah, you have to be patient. And my wife has in her mind a plan how the garden is growing in 5 years. So she plans everything. Or she tells me where to plant the things.
Great teamwork.
Yes, it's great. Yes.
Awesome. You know, you keep saying that, you know, you're not professional and you're not creative. But however, you know, my next question to you is that even though you don't consider yourself as professional, you're still a few steps ahead of those people who haven't started any sort of, you know, creative activity in their life. So what is your recommendations for those people who want to start any sort of art?
Yeah. So, like you mentioned, I'm not I don't see myself as a professional, so any tip would be a little bit presumptuous. But I learned with lots of practice and discipline, you'll see your improvement very soon. Yeah. So discipline is the key. For example, our band rehearsals start at 5 p.m. and everyone shows up a few minutes earlier. It wouldn't be fair letting 5 guys wait because you're not able to leave your home early enough to be on time. So discipline is the key, and stay focused. Stay focused on your practice. This is very important. And the result, you'll see the results very early. I promise.
Yeah, very well said. I agree. I totally agree. So you said you have favorite songs from the band. Which are your favorite songs?
My favorite song, it's our rockiest song. It's Vaktische Berry. Yes.
Okay.
I looked at Andy if I pronounce it correctly. Yes, it's my favorite song, and I'm able to do some bass transitions, which personally fits to the song. I think they fit to the song, and they sound very well. I like them.
Great. Yeah. I'm gonna look for that song and listen to it once more. Although I think most of the songs from the band are already shared on their Instagram page. I'm just gonna go, find out about that one. My next question to you is that who are you most inspired by for yourself or your creative activities?
Well, that's a good question. I had a very good teacher, without whom I wouldn't be there where I am now. Yeah. In the beginning, we dealt with songs together that I liked, and not with music theory or just something like that. Music theory you can gradually add afterwards, by the way. He let me myself go at my own pace, and I think this was a good way that I kept on practicing. Yeah. I only can advise everyone to look for a good teacher. Unfortunately, not every good musician is a good teacher, but he was the most inspiring person to me. And well, I think he is also a reason that I stayed at the bass guitar. Yeah. There are some good bass guitarists as well. I mentioned Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. He's a great guy on the bass and a great composer as well. Well, that's it.
Oh, that's great. That's really great. So my next question to you is a little bit hard again. If you could change anything about yourself, what would that be?
One moment.
Go ahead.
Normally, as I already mentioned, I would say I'm completely happy and satisfied with myself. There are always some things which needs improvement. Yeah, my learning, for example. It would be nice if my learning process would be even faster, but well, just some little things little things. In general, I'm happy and satisfied. Yeah.
That's really good. That's great. I hope you remain like this for the rest of your life.
Thank you so much.
So next question is that if you could have a superpower, what would that be, and what would you do with it for the people?
Oh, I think I would like to understand and learn things much faster than I do. Yeah. Okay. For example, higher mathematics and physics. It just takes a long time to learn that in depth. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if I could learn this as well as playing the bass guitar, for example, much more faster, I think it's a superpower I would choose.
Okay. That's really good. Great, great. Yeah, meditate more. I'm sure you'll get there. Very
Thank you so much. Cross fingers.
My last question is actually where our viewers can reach out to you or view your works, but I guess we have asked this question from the rest of the team members and group members of the band too. There's Instagram. Is there a website too for the band or not yet?
Not yet. We're doing it. We plan it in the future. Mm-hmm. I think the guys already mentioned it. We are on Spotify, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, every kind of stuff you know. And even we do a video tomorrow. It's a video for She's a Killer. It's a new song from ours. And it will take in front of an old castle here in Germany. You know, we have lots of nice old stuff here in Germany. And so we use this to do the video.
Nice. I'm looking forward to see that video, actually, to watch it.
Me too.
Yeah, that was
first time I'm an actor, so I don't know.
Let's see. All right, I guess that was all for my questions. We still have some more time left. If there are any messages that you want to send out there to our viewers, please go ahead. This time is all yours.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for your support in rising artists, and I think you will plan to present them in a book.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice idea. Well, personally, I want to thank you for your support in the name of our band, and probably in the name of all artists that you supported up to now. Well, that's a message I want to give you as well. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much for taking part in this, and thanks to all the artists who are actually putting the effort and being part of this. It was a true pleasure speaking with you, Jochen, and thank you so much for your time today and accepting our invitation. I guess that's all for our interview today. If there's nothing else, I guess we're just going to say goodbye and say goodbye to our viewers.
It was a pleasure for me as well. Thank you so much, Tara.
Thank you again. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.